Yeah, we're on. Yay! We have a guest today. Miss Kitty Cat has come along to read us the book we've all been talking about for the last 2 years. Um, why is it giving me a message? Because
Hold on,
she's
I'm
awesome
just
like that.
I'm breaking up here. Just hold on,
You
give
know.
me a sec. Okay.
Right? Yeah, it was
That's
buffering for me
buffering
there
quite a
for a
bit right
second
now.
too. It's like
I can't even hear what you're saying because it's buffering so bad.
we gotta get it going.
Okay, maybe is that better?
Wow. Oh, there's somebody in the chat. I'm gonna put up the chat. I almost forgot about the chat. Hello, chat.
Maybe ask them if we're buffering to their side.
Yeah. Okay.
And ask them if it's
I'm
backwards.
not seeing anyone. It's just right. Yeah. I'm sitting at 90+% up. I will take that as a no. Uh, oh, great. She's just frozen now. Oh, nope, there goes a shadow.
Oh,
Oh, oh, we're still getting something. Hooray!
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before. I can't hear you.
Okay. All right. Hello,
Okay,
hello,
now
hello.
there we go.
Can you hear this? Can you hear this? I'm
I do.
singing.
I know I do.
Okay.
I don't know. Am I buffering on your end?
All right.
Okay, because mine's
No.
really
Yeah, a
buffering
little
right now.
bit. It looks kind of choppy, but you sound right.
Well, that's what's important, I guess, for this.
But you sound kinda buffering. Okay. And we. Oh, sweet mercy. What is it? What is it?
Is the water flavor on the table yours?
Hmm?
Could I have
Get out of here. 2 hours, man. Get out. 2 hours. You're making me be mean to a sweet little boy in front of the whole world.
no?
Yeah. And you should feel terribly guilty. Get out.
Hey,
Bye.
Just trying
Keep
to
going.
see.
One.
mine here.
No, I need my compact. Thank you. I will never find another one like that in the whole world, I swear. Look at the size of this thing.
What is it?
Anyway, it's a compact.
Oh, okay. I don't have one of those. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And one side is, yeah. Well, I did day, or I look like an alien with no eyelashes. So.
Yeah. Well, it's different if you're on film because it makes it all wonky.
But you just saw the right. I mean, you just saw the extent of my makeup routine. So
Yeah.
I guess we're just, I guess we're just kind of waiting for people. Actually, I was gonna add some to like my one eyebrow doesn't want to take the dye lately for some reason. I don't know what its problem is. So I'm walking around with 1.5 eyebrows.
At least you stand out.
But I don't know where everybody is. There's nobody.
Well, we can always wait.
That's why I dyed my bright red hair black, because I wanted to stand out.
Yeah.
Ah! No, and I get people asking me why I did it, which like feels like a super personal question, but like I understand why they want to know.
Really?
You know?
I don't. Why do you care?
Because everybody.
Like I don't like. Why would someone
No,
care
right, but
if
like
someone dyed their hair?
you
Why?
haven't
Why
lived
do you need to know that they wanted to do it? Like.
because my natural is the epitome of amazing white girl hair. Okay, because it is
Oh,
magical.
I see. See, I just shaved mine,
Because
so I've got
yeah,
like a little bit of fuzz
yeah,
on top, a little bit of a
yeah,
faux hawk going on. But like it's all cut.
nice.
Yeah, that way you don't have
I'm
to
in this
brush
awful
it. It's great.
place where I'm trying to grow it out so I can put it in a braid. Yeah, true. I want to braid. I want to wear my hair in a. I don't know. That's just my goal. And I keep getting split ends and having to cut them off, which is,
Yeah.
you know, fit inducing. But oh well.
Well, I used to have hair down to my butt,
Ah,
and then
I
I just was like, no more. After one summer,
yeah, same.
I was with my kid and trying to teach him how to ride a bike. And the helmet with the long hair in the
Mhm.
summer, I was dying. And so I just went straight to the
Oh.
salon or to the whatever hair cutter. And I was like, cut
Mhm.
it all off. The whole thing. They were so nervous. I was like, it's hair. It'll go back. I don't care. Cut it off. And so they
Yeah.
did. So I've got a little faux hawk going on. And that's
Right.
been like that for ever
Well,
since.
how long ago was that?
Years. It's been years
How
now.
long ago was that?
It's been years. I can't remember. Just years. I think Ryder had to have been,
Nice.
oh, 7, maybe 6, something like that. So it's been a long time because
Okay.
he's 13 now.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, 13.
Yeah.
Does he shower on his own yet?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. That's good. You're like, oh.
That's about the age mine finally sat up and went, wait. Yeah, no, that's about the age mine finally sat up and went, wait, I stink. Like,
Yeah.
yes, baby. Like, I mean, not to be mean, like, yeah, you stink.
Oh,
but,
no,
like,
no. That's what I've had to tell Ryder before.
We
I'm
had
like, you
been
stink. We
on
need to
top
get
of
you
him
some
for 3
deodorant.
years. His shower days. Right. You have to wear the deodorant then as well.
Yeah.
It's not just a talisman you can keep in your room that will magically keep the stink away. No, no.
No.
And we had, stay on top of him. His shower days were this day and that day. And the day would come and be like, have you showered tonight? No. We'll go and do it, Like.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to see if there's anything actually on here to be seen. Because no one has showed up. Oh, 3 people are watching, it says.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just going to bring it up on my phone and see if Alfalfa's here. Hi, Alfalfa. I'm not seeing your texts in the screen on the thing. Yes, you can have the candy stick now. Oh my goodness. So yeah.
The hell is buffering again?
Alfalfa says,
Ask
you're
about
still here.
the
Oh,
mirrored
good.
image.
Good. I'm trying to find you in this thing on the. Yeah, no, she says it's backwards. There it is! Hurrah! Oh, good. Working per usual, says Alfalfa. Okay.
Okay.
So now I can actually see you on the computer screen. Yes, that's good.
Sorry, you were buffering so bad I couldn't hear what you said about the picture.
And as far as it being backwards. Oh, okay. Well, that was because I had it running twice.
I think it's from my end,
Because I
actually.
had to check. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're buffering so bad it's like I think it might be me. Maybe it's not coming in from because I'm downstairs. I don't know. Trying to see if that helps. Move it over a little bit.
Oh, God.
Okay. Talk.
I am talking on your command. I don't know what I'm going to say, which is like a first for me. I swear to God, this mouth. The thoughts come in my mind and then they come out my
Okay,
mouth.
okay,
It's
okay.
horrifying. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a little bit of a lag, but that should be fine because I'll just be
Uh-huh.
reading anyways. So as long as I'm coming in for you guys, that's all that really matters.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Somebody called Talk says, like done. Hello, sister. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mm, welcome to the crew. We are reading an academic book today, so we'll see who sticks around for that.
It's very informative.
Ah, it is. It is. No, I like that little bar of entry being just the slightest bit higher. That's fine with me.
And I mean, I know that GNC Central, Benji used to do these feminist sort of talking points coming from books that they're reading online, and I
Yeah, does she
liked
not
that. I
do
missed
that
that.
anymore? I haven't. Yeah, does she not do that anymore? I haven't been keeping
No, I
track
think
of
she's just
anybody.
been really busy though.
Ugh. Understandable.
Just getting my setup.
Mm.
So it is the mirrored. You can't really see it, right? Is it backwards
Blue, please.
for people?
Yeah. Your nails look nice, though. Guys, is the text on her screen backwards for you? Elbow claw, cough, blue, please.
Huh?
I don't know. You get to watch us boring old bees read a book telling us why we should be angry, I think, right? Still backwards. Yeah, we
Sorry about that. We don't know how to flip it.
know. I'm sorry. I'm going to click on this and see if there's a way. Maybe I can pop out full screen view. No, that's not going to help me. Hmm. And I'm so sorry. I just told you the other day that I have like a degree in audio tech, and I feel like I should be. A degree is 17 years old. And the funny thing about technology is it just kept on changing while I was busy. So, very frustrating. But I'm ready when you are, honey.
Okay. So
We could just keep chatting, or you can start
yeah,
reading
no,
whatever you
that's
want.
fine. I was just waiting on you, and I'm trying to figure out what you're saying because you're buffering so much, and I'm like, is she telling me to go? Okay, so we're going to be reading from Caliban and the Witch, the preface and
Maybe next
introduction for
time
today.
we'll just.
And so
Okay.
this shouldn't be too long. We'll be able to figure out how long these are going to take. Each. Are we doing it every Wednesday or every second Wednesday?
I've been doing every other Wednesday for my own
Okay,
sanity.
sounds good. So yeah, this might take a bit, but yeah, I'm not too sure how long this today is going to be because I don't know how long it takes for me to read out loud. So we're just going to start with the preface and introduction today, okay? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with, hold on. I don't care if it's backwards, I'm going to use it anyways. Because I did so much work. All right. Caliban and the Witch presents the main themes of a research project on women in the transition from feudalism to capitalism that I began in the mid-1970s in collaboration with an Italian feminist, Leopoldina Fortunati. Its first results appeared in a book that we published in Italy in 1984, The Great Caliban, History of the Rebel Body in the First Phase of Capitalism. My interest in this research was originally motivated by the debates that accompanied the development of the feminist movement in the United States. concerning the roots of women's oppression and the political strategies which the movement should adopt in the struggle for women's liberation. At the time, the leading theoretical and political perspectives from which the reality of sexual discrimination was analyzed were those proposed by the two main branches of the women's movement, the radical feminists and the socialist feminists. In my view, however, neither provided a satisfactory explanation of the roots of social and economic exploitation of women. I objected to the radical feminists because of their tendency to account for sexual discrimination and patriarchal rule on the basis of transhistorical cultural structures, presumably operating independently of relations of production and class. Socialist feminists, by contrast, recognize that the history of women cannot be separated from the and in their analysis gave priority to women as workers in capitalist society. But the limit of their position, in my understanding of it at the time, was that it failed to acknowledge the sphere of reproduction as a source of value creation and exploitation, and thus traced the roots of the power differential between women and men to women's exclusion from capitalist development, a stand which again compelled us to rely on cultural schemes to account for the survival of sexism within the universe of capitalist relations. It was in this context that the idea of tracing the history of women in the transition from feudalism to capitalism took form. The thesis which inspired this research was first articulated by Maria Rosa della Costa and Selma James, as well as other activists in the Wages for Housework movement, in a set of documents that in the 1970s were very controversial, but eventually reshaped the discourse on women, reproduction, and capitalism. The most influential among them were Maria della Costa's Women and the Subversion of the Community, published in 1971, and Selma James' Sex, Race, and Class, published in 1975. Against the Marxist orthodoxy, which explained women's oppression and subordination to men as a residuum of feudal relations, della Costa and James argued that the exploitation of women has played a central function in the process of capitalist accumulation insofar as women have been the producers and reproducers of the most essential capitalist commodity, labor power. As Della Costa put it, women's unpaid labor in the home has been the pillar upon which the exploitation of the wage slavery has been built, and the secret of its productivity. Thus, the power differential between women and men in capitalist society cannot be attributed to the irrelevance of housework for capitalist accumulation.
Can I ask you
Mm?
a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What is going to happen to that pillar when there's nobody at home?
What?
What is going to happen to that pillar when there's nobody at home?
Well, like when there's nobody at home. Well, that's the thing. When it keeps on,
Yeah, I mean,
when it keeps on taking for that structure, then people's lives tend to fall apart, or they get too busy. They stop, raising their kids. Like, I mean, look at what's going on now, right? With the electronics and stuff like that. You put your kid in front of a TV, you put them in with a tablet, because you have nothing else to do. It's literally causing the next round of laborers to be stupid, which is actually a positive, right, for capitalism, because you don't want them thinking too much. You just want them to do the work.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear you.
I forgot about the electronics. So that's now going to the as bad as this book is laying out the situation. God damn it.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you because of the buffering.
Even at Can you hear me now?
Maybe. Try again.
Even as bad as the situation we are being told about is, it's now worse. Is what I'm getting at. just to help set the scene there, we don't have this anymore.
Well, do you know about the Wages for Housework movement?
All right, sorry. Continue. A little bit. It would be nice. I know a little bit about. I wish I should know more.
Okay, I didn't hear the last bit of it, but
Do you want to tell
well,
us
I was
about them a
thinking
little bit?
afterwards. After this
I
book,
should.
we can even go look at the other books as well from that time period and learn about it then. Yeah.
Love
Love
it.
it. Yay.
All
Okay, yeah.
right.
If this is something that people want, I don't know if people really want to listen to me. But I think it's good to learn. All right, where was I? I should have stopped. Okay. Hold on, give me a sec. Yeah. Thus, the power differential between women and men in capitalist society cannot be attributed to the irrelevance of housework for capitalist accumulation. Excuse me. An irrelevance bellied by the strict rules that have governed women's lives, nor to the survival of timeless cultural schemes. Rather, it should be interpreted as the effect of a social system of production that does not recognize the production and reproduction of the worker as a social economic activity and a source of capital accumulation, but mystifies it instead as a natural resource or a personal service, while profiting from the wageless condition of the labor involved. By rooting the exploitation of women in capitalist society in the sexual division of labor and women's unpaid work, Della Costa and James showed the possibility of transcending the dichotomy between patriarchy and class. He gave patriarchy a specific historical content. They also opened the way for a reinterpretation of the history of capitalism and class struggle from a feminist viewpoint. It was in this spirit that Leopoldina Fortunati and I began to study that what can only be euphemistically described as the transition to capitalism, and began to search for a history that we had not been taught in school, but proved to be decisive for our education. This history not only offered a theoretical understanding of the genesis of housework in its main structural components, the separation of production from reproduction, the, um, the specifically capitalist use of the wage to command the labor of the unwaged, and the devaluation of women's social position with the advent of capitalism. It also provided a genealogy of the modern concepts of femininity and masculinity that challenged the postmodern assumption of an almost ontological predisposition in Western culture to capture gender through binary oppositions. Sexual hierarchies, we found, are always at the service of a project of domination that can sustain itself only by dividing, on a continuously renewed basis, those it intends to rule. The book that resulted from this research, The Great Caliban, was an attempt to rethink Marx's analysis of primitive accumulation from a feminist viewpoint. But in this process, the received Marxian categories proved inadequate. Among the casualties was the Marxian identification of capitalism with the advent of wage labor and the free laborer, which contributes to hide and naturalize the sphere of reproduction. The great Caliban was also critical of Michel Foucault's theory of the body. As we argued, Foucault's analysis of the power techniques and disciplines to which the body has been subjected has ignored the process of reproduction, has collapsed female and male histories into an undifferentiated whole, and has been so disinterested in the disciplining of women that it never mentions one of the most
Woo!
yeah, right, monstrous attacks on the body perpetrated in the modern era, the witch hunt. I know. I love how she. Okay, pause. I love how she rips Michel Foucault's a new asshole in this. I know, right? I hate that dude. Okay.
Yes, I'm
If
already
you all
loving
don't
it.
know, Michel Foucault is sort of like the founder and father of queer theory. Yeah. What a piece. What a piece. Okay. The main thesis in The Great Caliban was that in order to understand the history of women in the transition from feudalism to capitalism, we must analyze the changes that capitalism has introduced in the process of social reproduction, and especially the reproduction of labor power. Thus, the book examined the reorganization of housework, family life, child raising, sexuality, male female relations, and the relations between production and reproduction in 16th and 17th century Europe. This analysis is reproduced in Caliban and the Witch. However, the scope of the present volume differs from that of the Great Caliban as it responds to a different social context and to our growing knowledge of women's history. Shortly after the publication of the Great Caliban, I left the United States and took a teaching position in Nigeria, where I remained for nearly 3 years. Before leaving, I had buried my papers in a cellar, not expecting that I should need them for some time. But the circumstances of my stay in Nigeria did not allow me to forget this work. The years between 1984 and 1986 were a turning point for Nigeria, as for most African countries. These were the years when, in response to the debt crisis, the Nigerian government engaged in negotiations with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, which eventually resulted in the adoption of a structural adjustment program, the World Bank's universal recipe for economic recovery across the planet. The declared purpose of the program was to make Nigeria competitive on the international market, but it was too soon apparent that this involved a new round of primitive accumulation and a rationalization of social reproduction aimed at destroying the last vestiges of communal property and community relations, and thereby impose more intense forms of labor exploitation. Thus, I saw unfolding under my eyes processes very similar to those that I had studied in preparation for the Great Caliban. Among them were the attack on communal lands and decisive intervention by the state, instigated by World Bank, in the reproduction of the workforce to regulate procreation rates, and in this case, reduce the size of a population that was deemed too demanding and undisciplined from the viewpoint of its prospected insertion in the global economy. Along with these policies aptly named the war against indiscipline, I also witnessed a fueling of misogynist campaign, denouncing women's vanity and excessive demands, and the development of a heated debate similar in many respects to the 17th century Querelle de la Femme, touching on every aspect of the reproduction of labor power, the family, polygamous versus monogamous, nuclear versus extended, child raising, women's work, male and female identity and relation.
So, sorry, I just want to point out. So they need us in a hierarchy below them to
Yeah.
shit on. Right?
I don't know because I can't hear you because you're buffering.
How about now?
I don't know if it's you. I think it might be me. You're okay. No.
Fucking hell.
Maybe write down. Do you have like a pen and paper? Maybe write down questions and then we can
now?
take it afterwards. Because that way, I don't have to try to figure out what you're talking about. So, I'm almost done.
That's a good idea.
And then we'll take a break, and then you could get a piece of paper, maybe. Oh, beautiful. All right. Start writing. All right, so I'm going to keep going, and we're almost going to be done with the introduction, or the preface, sorry. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll do the introduction. All right. In this context, my work on the transition took on a new meaning. In Nigeria, I realized that the struggle against structural adjustment is part of a long struggle against land privatization and the enclosure not only of communal lands, but also of social relations that stretches back to the origin of capitalism in 16th century Europe and America. I also realized how limited is the victory that the capitalist work discipline has won on this planet, and how many people still see their lives in ways radically antagonistic to the requirements of capitalist production. For the developers, the multinational agencies, and foreign investors, this was and remains the problem with places like Nigeria. But for me, it was a source of great strength as it proved that worldwide, formidable forces still contrast the imposition of a way of life conceived only in capitalist terms. The strength I gained was also due to my encounter with Women's in Nigeria, also known as WIN, the country's first feminist organization, which enabled me to better understand the struggles that Nigerian women have been making to defend their resources and to refuse the new model of patriarchy imposed on them, now promoted by the World Bank. By the end of 1986, the debt crisis reached the academic institutions, and no longer able to support myself, I left Nigeria in body, if not in spirit. But the thought of the attacks launched on the Nigerian people never left me. Thus, the desire to restudy the transition to capitalism has been with me since my return. I had read the Nigerian events through the prism of a 16th century Europe. In the United States, it was the Nigerian proletariat that brought me back to the struggles over the commons and the capitalist disciplining of women in and out of Europe. Upon my return, I also began to teach in an interdisciplinary program for undergraduates where I confronted a different type of enclosure, the enclosure of knowledge. That is, the increasing loss among the new generations of the historical sense of our common past. This is why Caliban and the Witch, I reconstruct the anti-feudal struggles of the Middle Ages and the struggles by which the European proletariat resisted the advent of capitalism. My goal in doing so is not only to make available to non-specialists the evidence on which my analysis relies, but to revive among younger generations the memory of a long history of resistance that today is in danger of being erased. Saving this historical memory is crucial if we are to find an alternative to capitalism, for this possibility would depend on our capacity to hear the voices of those who have walked similar paths. End of preface. Sorry, I'm just having a few sips of my coffee.
Very, very
So,
nice.
am I, just quick question, am I
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
too
yeah.
fast, or is it a good pace?
It's a good pace
Okay.
for me, if you can hear me.
I can hear you right now. So, because I know that I
What is
sometimes
this?
read a little bit fast, but then I usually end up tripping over my words because I can't get my words out as fast as my brain can read it. So I'm trying to slow down, but I have, yeah, it's
Yep,
a
yep,
process.
same. Mhm.
Okay.
It takes getting into that groove.
Yeah.
The reading was a good speed, says Claire.
Oh, good. Yay. All right. Should we continue?
Did you catch?
Yeah.
Actually, would it be all right if I took a really quick potty break?
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm
be
going
right
to
back.
then go grab another coffee. So we'll be right back.
Gotta run
Stay
to the
tuned. Kitty. Meow, meow. No kitty. Just leave the camera. What's that? Is that a camera? Meow, meow. Oh, you're fine. Do I have to lock you out again? No. You got to be quiet. Yeah, what? Meow. Okay, we're going to go put you upstairs. Okay, thank you.
Oh, no. Hello, what is it, darling? Oh my god. All right, now come here. Smile. Open your mouth. Hey, go on. Get out. Hey, come on. I have. Owen, you're supposed to be in school today, remember? I planned this when I thought you were going to be in school today.
Oh, come on.
It's a snow day today. Can you hear me?
All right.
Hey, Alfalfa. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hopefully. Okay. It's a snow day here today, which is why
I
he's
see.
here.
Well, don't worry about it too much. I had my cat
But-
sneak down when she
but
wasn't
no.
supposed to be down here and almost knocked over the camera.
No, but I have a second half to that. You being from up north, I want to show you the snow that caused them to cancel all school today. Are you ready for
Yeah.
this?
Ooh.
you see
I didn't know
at
Tennessee
that.
even had snow.
You can see the grass poking up out of it. You're right, yeah, but you can see the grass poking up out of it. I'm
Can you
sorry,
break
I'm
it
from
up?
Cleveland,
So you're breaking up again.
Ohio. Okay. How
Okay,
about
you're
now?
better. But it might be my
How about
end and it
now?
just keeps going in and out. As long as
Okay.
people can hear me when I'm reading
No,
and it's not buffering, it should be fine.
you sound fine to me. Yeah, does anybody let me know if Kat is buffering bad for you or anything? But she sounds fine to me. No, but I'm from Cleveland,
Yeah.
Ohio. Right? So if Cleveland, Ohio shut things down every time it snowed half an inch, they would never do anything. It is continually bizarre to me. Anyway. The difference in culture, I guess. I don't know. The culture shock never
Maybe.
ends. Maybe that's true.
Ah, that's good coffee. Okay. Are we almost ready? All right. So now we're gonna go to I also
I'm
changed I know he might not be able to read this, but I also changed my little picture. This is an actual here. I'll speak about what this is. So this is a woodcut of witches conjuring a shower of rain. In Ulrich Molitor de I suck at pronouncing Delimites et Pythonesis multiverbaris. I don't know. Basically, it translates to on female sorcerers and soothsayers in 1489. So just let everyone know I really suck at like dialect when it comes to pronunciation, when it comes to French and Italian and Old English even. So yeah, please bear with me on that. So now we're going to get into the introduction. Since Marx, studying the genesis of capitalism has been an obligatory step for activists and scholars convinced that the first task on humanity's agenda is the construction of an alternative to capitalist society. Not surprisingly, every new revolutionary movement has returned to the transition to capitalism, bringing to it the perspectives of new social subjects and uncovering new grounds of exploitation and resistance. This volume is conceived within this tradition, but two considerations in particular have motivated this work. First, there has been the desire to rethink the development of capitalism from a feminist viewpoint, while at the same time avoiding the limits of a women's history separate from that of the male part of the working class. The title, Caliban and the Witch, inspired by Shakespeare's The Tempest, reflects this effort. In my interpretation, however, the Caliban represents not only the anti-colonial rebel whose struggle still resonates in contemporary Caribbean literature, but is a symbol for the world proletariat, and more specifically for the proletarian body as a terrain and instrument of resistance to the logic of capitalism. Most important, the figure of the witch, who, in The Tempest, is confined to a remote background, in this volume is placed at the center stage as the embodiment of a world of female subjects that capitalism had to destroy: the heretic, the healer, the disobedient wife, the woman who dared to live alone, the Obeah women who poisoned the master's food and inspired the slaves to revolt. The second motivation behind this volume has been the worldwide return with the new global expansion of capitalist relations of a set of phenomena usually associated with the genesis of capitalism. Among them are a new round of enclosures that have expropriated millions of agricultural producers from their land, and the mass pauperization and criminalization of workers through a policy of mass incarceration, recalling the Great Confinement, described by Michel Foucault in his study of History of Madness. We have also witnessed the worldwide development of new diasporic movements, accompanied by the persecution of migrant workers, again reminiscent of the bloody laws that were introduced in 16th and 17th century Europe to make vagabonds available for local exploitation. Most important for this book has been the intensification of violence against women, including in some countries, such as South Africa and Brazil, the return of witch hunting. Why, after 500 years of capitalist rule, at the beginning of the third millennium, are workers on a mass scale still defined as paupers, witches, and outlaws? How are land expropriation and mass pauperization related to the continuing attack on women? And what do we learn about capitalist development, past and present, once we examine it through the vantage point of a feminist perspective? It is with these questions in mind that, in this work, I have revisited the transition from feudalism to capitalism. Oh, shit. What? Hello? What happened? Oh my goodness.